Hello everybody, it's Mindy, and welcome to 2021. My first whip and chat of 2021, actually. So let me talk to you about what I'm doing, okay? And then I'll proceed from there. Anyhow, I'm working on my canvas. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's covered with parchment paper because I had to take the cover paper off it. So it's covered with parchment paper. You can kind of see what it is. It's this cute little badger for Hufflepuff. I thought he was super cute. I liked him. He's like a baby badger. He's super cute. I liked him a lot. And so I got him to work on my collab event with Yureli. It was going to be a Harry Potter event. That's what we started it out as. And then we decided that we should expand it a little bit, because just doing Harry Potter left out people who really didn't care for Harry Potter, didn't want to do a Harry Potter. So we expanded it to a booked theme event. So a diamond painting that may be based off a book or reminds you of a book, or a painting that's about books, something to do with books. So we call it #booksindiamonds. And I'm really excited. A lot of people are really interested, and they have found some very interesting canvases to do that are based on books or fairy tales, just lots of different things. And it's really kind of interesting. I've been watching our hashtag on Instagram, and there's quite a few posts in there, and that's exciting. People have also been posting it in the Facebook group. Remember, Yureli is a mod in there, and so she's kind of part of the group as well. So there you have that. Super excited to see what everybody's working on. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. So keep working, keep showing us your progress. If you haven't started yet, feel free to join us and find something that has to do with a book. I'm trying to read that symbol. I'll talk about that in a second. And join along. Have a good time. Okay? We're all about having fun. And every time I do an event, that's my main priority, is that people have fun. That we can come together, we can work on something of similar interests, and that we just have a good time doing it. That's my main goal, is for everyone to have a good time. Okay? Just have a good time. I'm pretty laid back. Yureli's pretty laid back. I think everybody I work with is just pretty laid back. It's never going to be real intense. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be fun. Have a good time. Okay? Have a good time, you guys. That's all I ask. All right. With that being said, Yureli and I are both doing whip and chats. Mine will go up on Wednesday. Hers will go up on Thursday. We are going to give away some prizes. So at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to comment at the end of this video, because I'm going to give away the first prize. All right. I will give that prize away based on comments on this video. So make sure you comment on this video. Okay. And then I'll give my prize away in next week's Whip and Chat video. Now, Yureli, she'll go next week, and you'll comment on her video next week for a chance to win her prize. She's got some cute stuff. She showed me. She's got some cute things. You'll like it. So make sure you comment on her video. Comment on our videos every week, but next week will be hers for a prize giveaway. Okay? Following along every other week, we're going to do that. But just follow along with both of us. Yureli is great. I like listening to her Whip and Chats an awful lot. She's fun. So, yeah, and we, as creators, we love to read your comments and know that you're, listening and following along. It just makes what we do so much more worth it, when people comment and become a part of what we're doing. It's awesome. So, that's how the prizes will go, except for the grand prize. Yes, there will be a grand prize at the end when we're finished. We don't have an exact date set yet for when we're going to give away the grand prize, but we've been talking about it and working on it, and it's going to be really cool. And 2021 for me is going to be the year of transparency. I know you hear that word a lot, but I'm going to be very transparent with people, upfront, informative, and I want everybody to know what's going on right from the get-go. All right. Therefore, I'm going to tell you right now that in the prize, the grand finale prize, is going to be a Diamond Art Club. It's going to be a particular Diamond Art Club, and I'm going to save that part, just that part, for the surprise. Okay? So, anyhow, yeah, it's all based around our Books in Diamonds theme. So, there you have it. So, with that being said, I hope you join along and have a good time. All right? As far as being transparent and just being informative, there's not going to be many surprises this year. I think surprises, I don't know, sometimes are fun, but sometimes they're overrated. And sometimes they cause, let's see, I'm losing my drills. Sometimes they cause, I don't know, they cause some angst, and I just don't want that to happen. I want people to be informed. I'm going to let everybody know all of my collabs as soon as I know them. I mean, I know a bunch right now. I'm going to make a schedule, and I'm going to let everybody know what I'm going to be doing for the year 2021. Come on, you're stuck in the corner. As soon as I know it, I know about it, I'm going to let you know, because I figured the more advanced notice you have, the more prepared you can be to join along with things. Okay? So there's that. All right. I think that's enough said about that. Yeah. Back to this. Back to this. Okay, it is my canvas. It is my Hufflepuff for our event. Now, I unbagged it right away when I got it. I ordered it off Amazon. I unbagged it pretty quickly. I wanted to get it out of the packaging that it was in. It took about 4 or 5 weeks to get to me. And I wanted to get it unpackaged. I needed to get that cover paper off it. It didn't have a ton of rivers or bubbles in it. It had a few, but they weren't bad. Easily corrected, easy to fix. Okay, so not a big deal. And then I left this hang. I just left it hang in my closet until I was ready for it. I must have got it in like October, maybe November. So it's been around for a while. And I just let it hang in the closet. And I didn't really do much to it. Didn't look at it again after I unpackaged it. Till it was time to kit it up and whatnot. And that went okay. The kitting up was fine and all that. I'm using my new little craftably containers. I have the box down here, the case, and I've just been taking out a few jars at a time as I'm working on some colors, and it works just fine. This is my Bella de Nicole, yeah, that's right, tray. I'm using that. So, yeah, I got started with it on Saturday night in my live. And thank you for those people who came to my live. I apologize that my phone went dead, is what it did, guys. I thought I had plenty of charge on my phone, and apparently I did not. So my phone died with about a half an hour left of my live. I was so upset. I really was. It was like the worst timing. I was just like, seriously. So I apologize for that. And next week I'll make sure that I have my phone fully charged. And if not, I'm going to have it plugged in right from the get-go. Anyhow, there's that. But as I started working on this, I worked on the bottom section down here. I was working on the black down here at the bottom. I mean, this is all black, okay? There is 12,700, I think. No, 12,295 black, okay? Because it just borders everything. And it's throughout the middle of the painting as well. Lots and lots of black. So I had started down here on this part here. And then when I got off my live, I looked at it. And I knew as I was doing it that it wasn't great. But when I looked at it after my live, I was like, those were the worst, most horrible black drills I've ever worked with in my life. They were terrible. Just terrible. They were different sizes. They had pointy edges. They had pointy corners. They had curved sides. Like the sides weren't even straight on these drills, okay? They were bigger, smaller, everything you can think of for a bad drill, it was here. It was present with these black drills. The other colors are not as bad. They're not great. They're not great, but they're not as bad. They're doable. They're workable. You know, I can pick out some that are, I call them a little more rounded, maybe. I don't know. They're just, okay. I don't even know the name of the company, and I'm not going to probably go back and find it to tell you. It was just some really off the wall kind of company I'd never heard of before. But yeah, it's one of those experiences that is making this whole painting just not a fun one, not relaxing, right? So what did I do? After my live, it was the next day actually, because after my live, I was like, I looked at it and I was just done with it. I was like, I'm just done. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Well, the next day I decided what I was going to do. The next day I decided to tear all the black drills off that I had put on. Took them all off. You know, that took me a little while to get them all off. I took them all off. And I was like, I'm just going to get black drills. If I have to buy them, if I have to buy 12,000 plus black drills, I will do that. Okay, seriously, guys. This is the bag of black drills. Okay, that's the bag. It's 71.7 ounces of black drills. I was like, if I have to buy them, I'll just buy them. I tested the other drills to make sure the other colors, get those out of the way now. Those are going to go in the trash. But I tested the other colors to make sure that I could actually complete this canvas, that the other colors weren't going to be so bad that I couldn't even do the canvas. And like I said, they seemed to be okay. Not perfect, but there's enough decent ones that I can work with it. All right. So, and I apologize if you see the top of my head from time to time, because some of these symbols are very light and I can't see them very well. Like up here, I'm doing this lowercase e, and it's hard to tell what's a lowercase e sometimes. Like that's a G. So it's going to be one of those canvases. I'm going to be like, I'm going to finish it because it's cute and it's what I have for this event, and I'd have to order something else and start over, but I'm going to make it work. I mean, it's very pretty when it's done. I mean, you can see the colors. It's so much brighter than the canvas shows. It's really very pretty when it's completed. But so I was talking with my good friend Sue, and Sue, who's been diamond painting for like an eternity. I don't know. I didn't even know diamond painting was around as long as she's been diamond painting. It's been like 5 years or something. I didn't even know it existed in the United States that long ago, but she has been diamond painting forever. And she said, let me look. I have tons and tons of spare drills. Let me look and see what I have for black. And I'm like, okay. And so she showed me pictures of just piles and piles of square black drills. Now, I had a few black drills in my spares, but I had a few squares. I didn't have that many in squares. So I had this little bag, which I have used a few of, and these are okay. And I did like probably, I don't know if can you see this? Can you see that much? Let me see. Can you see the black? No, you can't see the black. Let me show you the black real quick. Yeah, you can see the black. Okay. So I did like this much here over to this way with the larger bag of black over here, and they're okay. But then I had this bag, which is from Craftably, and I didn't have as many of those, but I started and went this way with the ones from Craftably, and whoa, what a difference. What a difference. The Craftably black drills are great. They're brighter, shinier, prettier. They fit together nicer. I mean, these aren't horrible. They're okay. And I don't think, I don't think the normal person, the average person looking at it would look at this painting and go, oh, those black drills are different. Those are icky ones over here. I don't think that most people would realize that, but I do. You know what I mean? I can tell. So I've stopped using these, and then Sue is going to send me some more black drills, and she had some that were still in bags that she hadn't even opened yet. And I'm like, okay, send me those, and I'll at least start with those. I'll start with those. We'll see how far I get with those. I don't know. Anyhow, that's what I'm going to do. And thank you to Sue that she has so many and she's so willing to share them. I mean, what are the odds that somebody's going to need 12,000 black drills, right? And she's got a bunch. So I guess if I run out, she could just send me some more. Anyhow, I'm going to make this work. Gonna make it work. So that's my story of my canvas. Sad but true, I know. So anyhow, it'll work. It'll happen. Okay. I thought, since this is the beginning of 2021, I have a lot of new subscribers. Somewhere in my analytics, I learned that in 2020, I gained like 3,000 new subscribers. I was like, wow, that's a lot, right? That is a lot of new subscribers for a year. And I was kind of blown away by that a little bit. I mean, I'm close to 5,000. And of course, you guys know, you have to know that I'm going to do something special for 5,000 subscribers when I get there. I haven't really started planning yet because I'm like a good 200 or more away. It is one of my goals is to make that 5,000. I would really like to make the 5,000 before my 2-year anniversary, which is in February. But if I do, I do. It's a goal, right? That's what goals are for. It gives you something to strive for. Sometimes you make the goal and sometimes you don't. Maybe you fall a little short, but just look at the progress you made just because you had that goal in mind and you were really working for it, right? You got a lot further than you would have if you had never set that goal. That's how I look at it. So anyhow, that's where I'm headed. And so I thought, because I had so many new subscribers, I thought that maybe it would be appropriate to do just kind of a little get to know me WIP and chat. I know there's people who have been here since the beginning, and I appreciate them so much. Some of my best friends have been here like a long time. And there's a lot of new people. And I thought, for the new people who are here, who might not have heard my stories, my life story, my this, my that, I thought, well, maybe this would be a good opportunity to just share some things with you so that you could know me a little bit better. Like that one has a tag. I don't want it. And I thought of this because I've been watching some booktubers. I want to do some type of booktube. Not quite as official as the actual booktubers do, because they are pretty fantastic. But I have found a couple that I really like, and I've been watching them a little bit to see what they do and learning some of their lingo, because it's a whole new world out there in booktube land. But I realized today, as I was watching somebody I just started following, somebody I really like, and I just realized today that I'm watching a video from this month, and I'm like, I don't know anything about her. I don't know anything about her, right? I mean, I'm going to have to go back to some old videos to learn about her. I think I caught something like she doesn't live in the United States, but yet she sounds totally, American, totally. So I think she's living in some other country, but the point is, I don't know about her, and I'm a new person to her channel. So I thought, maybe I should let new people to my channel know some things about me. I thought that sounded like a good plan. So I thought, well, I could go find, some tags and stuff on YouTube, the questions and all that. And I thought, most of those questions are just superficial and boring. And I didn't want to do that. Okay, I got R. Bear with me as I look for a couple more colors. R and G. Let's look for G. R and G. And what else can we do? Oh, the little turnaround. The little arrow that turns. You know what I'm talking about? I call it a turnaround. I don't know. So I looked through some of the questions and I was quite bored with most of them. They're like, what's your favorite drink? What's this? What's that? And I thought, who really cares about that stuff? I don't know. I wouldn't care about, what somebody's favorite drink was or their favorite movie was or those kinds of things. So I thought, I'll just talk about me. And I'll share some of the things about me that I think that you might not know, that maybe you would like to know, that you would find interesting. Some people will already know these things. And if you already know all this stuff about me, you're one of my good friends and you know me that well and you don't need to hear it, you don't have to listen. But for those people who would like to learn more about me and my life and my lifestyle and where I come from and all that kind of stuff, well, this is for you. This is for you so that we start off the year 2021 and you know a little bit about me. And I think, I think you might like to know that stuff. So anyhow, that's what we're going to do for the rest of this whip and chat until I get tired of talking or I cover everything I think I can cover. All right? Excuse me. All right. So let me just go back. And let's start with me as a kid. All right? I was born in 1960. And do the math. You can figure out my age. Okay? I'm not ashamed of it. I was born in 1960. That was an interesting era to be born in. My mom did not work at the time. She did work at the time. I'm sorry. She did work at the time. She worked for the state of Michigan. And she continued to work for the state after I was born. That meant I had a babysitter. Okay? I had a babysitter. The lady next door, and I've talked about her a little bit before. Around Christmas, I talked about her. And she lived right next door. She was an older lady. She had grandkids already, things like that. And I would go over there and I would stay with her during the day when my mom and dad both worked. And had great, great fun adventures with her. Okay? She was great. She was just like a grandma to me. And we did lots of things together, baking and making things and, just lots of fun stuff. Her name was Bernie. I'll never forget Bernie. She was just a sweet, sweet lady. Anyhow, that went on for about 3 years until my sister came along. And then my sister was born. And, of course, that changed everything when I had a sister. Loved my sister. Okay. I actually got to name my sister her first name. So her name is like this combination of names. A name that I wanted, a name that my dad wanted, and a name that my mom wanted. So she's got like 3 names all put together to make her full name. And then our last name, of course. But, yeah. So when she came along, her name is Sherry, by the way. That's her first name. Actually, her first name is Sherry Lane, like I said. Everybody got a little piece of her name, put it all together, right? So her first name has two names, and then she's a middle name. Anyhow, when she came along, that was when my mom decided that staying at home and being a stay-at-home mom was really the best idea, and that's what she wanted to do. So I no longer went to the babysitters, and I didn't stay at Bernie's anymore, and now I was home with my mom and my sister. I loved my sister. I mean, I doted over my sister, you know. I was the big sister, and I had a little sister, and that was what I always wanted, and yeah. Still love my sister to death. You know, my sister and I have been close our whole lives. You know, we fought, of course, like all siblings do at times, but, you know, argued, I should say. Not really fought, but argued, and, ooh, hello. And, you know, had our moments, but, you know, we've always been super close. And we always will be. I don't see that ever changing, okay? So it was, you know, us girls at home, mom taking care of us and doing the stay-at-home mom thing and whatnot. And then my brother came along a couple years later. And so then there were three of us kids. My brother's name is Steve. And poor Steve, you know, he had to take some abuse from us sisters, us older sisters, and we'd pick on him, and we did some mean, pranky kind of things to him. Poor little guy. But, you know, he got older, and I think he got even with us, but anyhow. Yeah, so that was us. That was our family growing up in the, you know, 60s and 70s, and, you know, our little nuclear at-home family with mom and dad, and, you know, we lived in a little, not really a neighborhood. It was more like a country neighborhood, if you know what that means. It was really 4 streets that made like this big block. It was a big block that went around, and it was 4 streets. But yet behind us was really still like an open field and country. So it was kind of interesting, but it was a great place to grow up. We had a blast there. Playing out in the field out back. My dad got a mini bike at one point, and that was a blast. We all took turns riding the mini bike around out in the field, and, you know, it was just a good way to grow up as a kid. There were no street lights. I think there was one, like, light at the corner, you know, just to say, hey, there's a stop here, you know. But yeah, we just played, and, you know, we could stay outside and go to the neighbors and all that fun stuff. Did I do this already? I did this one already, didn't I? Sure did. Did I do all of these colors already? I think I did, you guys. I think all those colors are done. Really? Wow. So, I'm going to fill in some of this with some black here, so I can see what I got left. I know there's some bees, and the bees are hard to see. So, anyhow, we're going to fill in with some black. We're going to use the Craftably black because they're good. Anyhow, that's how we grew up. Had neighborhood friends and all of that. You know, it was a great life. Had a great time there. Then my parents decided that we were going to move. Yeah, we were going to move. We were going to move out further in the country. This area started to get a little more developed. Not that it was super developed, but it got a little more developed. And my parents decided they wanted a little more space, a little more land. And so they decided it was time to move out into the country. Bought a piece of property, 13 acres, about 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles from where we lived. Wasn't very far at all. However, to me, it was the other end of the world. It was the other end of the world. You know, I was leaving all of my friends in my little neighborhood, all of the fun things that were there. And I was about 12 at the time. And I did everything I could to not let our house get sold, including taking down the for sale sign out of the yard and hiding it quite often. You know, things like that, because I did not want to move. It was like devastating to me to think of moving. Of course, that didn't stop the wheels of change from turning. We sold our house. We were building a house out in the country. The best part about building the house out in the country is I got to pick everything I wanted for my own bedroom. I got to pick the colors. I got to pick light fixtures. I got to pick all kinds of stuff for my room, which was cool. But while our house was being built and the house that we had owned was sold, we had no place to live. So we moved in with my grandma that I've talked about, my mom's mom. Moved in with her, and she had this tiny, tiny little house, little bitty house, and all of us, all 5 of us and my grandma packed into there. And I remember my sister and I slept in my grandma's room on her bed. My grandma slept in the living room. We kicked grandma out of her bed, apparently. I mean, she willingly gave it up because, you know, that's how my grandma was. But my brother must have slept in the back bedroom with my mom and dad. He was younger, of course. But, yeah, we lived there for several months, all squeezed into this tiny, tiny little house, and made it work somehow, you know. I remember, here's some of my fondest memories of living in that house. My grandma would stay out in the living room, and she'd be watching TV while us kids were supposed to be, us girls, we were in the bedroom that was right off the living room. And of course, we were supposed to be sleeping, but Grandma would be watching TV. And so my sister and I would crawl to the end of the bed. You know, instead of having our heads up at the head of the bed, we had our heads down at the foot of the bed where we could look out and see the TV, like around the door. And we'd watch TV, right? We would be watching TV and we were supposed to be going to sleep. Every once in a while, Grandma would look and she'd see us and she'd say, "You girls get back to bed. You know." I don't know why they never just like shut the door. I guess we didn't want them to shut the door. I don't know. Maybe we were scared. I don't know. Anyhow, we would get caught just watching the TV. The other thing I remember is my grandma loved like these magazines. Oh my gosh. They were true crime or true romance magazines. And they'd have little stories in them, you know. We would find those laying around the house and we'd pick them up and we'd read them a little bit. And we thought we were reading like the raunchiest, dirtiest stuff in the world. Like we were reading stuff we shouldn't read, right? True crime and true romance. And really, it wasn't that bad. But, you know, we felt like we were sneaking and doing something we weren't supposed to do. I don't know. Maybe we were. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But I remember those memories at my grandma's house. There's other memories I remember when we lived there, but that's for another time. Anyhow, then we moved out to our house in the country, and like I said, I got to pick out everything for my room. So I had bright orange shag carpet. Yeah, bright orange shag carpet, a light peachish kind of walls. I had like this 1970s, because now it is the 70s, okay? I had this 1970s like disco ball looking hanging light in my room. Of course, it was orange. But, you know, it was my room. It was the first time I had a room to myself, because at our other house, you know, I had to share a room with my sister. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's some of the arguments, was sharing a room with my sister. If I had to share a room with a sister, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I had a room of my own. And I was like 12, going on 13 when we moved in there. And I was like, whew. I thought I was, you know, the cat's meow. I had my own room. Everything was cool. Yeah, I loved it. So, yeah. Well, when I moved to that house, when I moved to that house, I had to change schools. Well, I didn't change schools. I had been in elementary school, which went to 6th grade. And when I moved there, I was going into like junior high. That's what we had next. We had junior high, which would have been 7th grade. Okay. So moving and going to a new school all at the same time meant I was going to a larger school with more kids, because, all the elementaries kind of converged into another building, and all kinds of new people to meet and things like that. Well, unbeknownst to me, that was the day that the first day of school, when I got on the bus, was the day that a certain someone noticed me on the bus and started talking to his friends about the new girl that had moved in, because I'd moved into the neighborhood. And we're talking in the country, the neighborhood is miles, right? Not just like across the street. It's miles. Him and his friend lived about a mile away, around the corner, about a mile around the corner. There you go. And they noticed me the first day I got on the bus. And I didn't really know that. See, these drills don't even appear to stick down. Even though the canvas is sticky, I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, I didn't know it. But I did notice in my classes, I noticed this guy, right? And his name was Dale. Yes, my husband. I started noticing him in like 7th grade. And we had some classes together, things like that. And yeah, so here we are, junior high. That's a strange time in life, when you're noticing the opposite sex and all that stuff, and puberty and this and that, and just all of the things that go with that, weird time in life. But it was a good time in life. Now, I will tell you that I was the good kid. I was the good kid. I was the oldest. My sister and my brother might argue with me and say that I wasn't, but I really was the good kid. I didn't get in trouble. I wasn't, I was pretty quiet. I've always been quiet. I've never been the social butterfly type of person. I'm not outgoing. I don't put myself out there in the world with people. It's really difficult for me. I don't know why, but it is. It's always been that way. Anyhow, what was my point? I don't know what was my point. Just that it was an interesting time in my life. And the fact that, I noticed this guy, and we just talked a little, that was about it. Because, we're like 13. What else are you going to do, right? Well, a few years later, of course, now I really notice him. And we both like to roller skate. I've told the story before about growing up at the roller skating rink. Every weekend I was there, and that was just my thing to do. Well, he liked it as well, and he was there with his friends and stuff. And eventually, we really, really noticed each other. And now, we're getting on 16 and whatnot. And he wants to, be my boyfriend, I guess, Now, remember, he lives about a mile and a half away from me. And I remember he asked if he could, ride his bike over and come over and visit. Rode his bike over to my house to come see me. And, that's what we did for a little while. He rode his bike down, and we'd just hang out at my house for a little while. Well, of course, then he got a car. and I got a car. It was just what you did. You know, when you were 16, you lived out in the country. Who wants to ride the bus all the time? The bus could take you forever to get to school, right? So he got a car. I have started working for my parents at their store because my parents owned what I call a little convenience store. We always called it a party store. You know, you're having a party, you run over to the store and get your stuff. So we called it the party store. But yeah, I started working there when I started working there a lot younger because my parents had the store. My sister and I, mainly, we would go and work on a Saturday, work all day, stocking shelves, putting things away to get that roller skating money to go roller skating, you know, and a little bit of money for snacks or whatnot. And so that's what we did. But when I was 16, and I'm in high school, right, and I had something called work experience or co-op where you could like leave school for like the end of the day and go to a job. And that's what I did. So once I started doing that, I really needed a car. And that's when my dad started actually paying me real money, like a real paycheck, you know, $1 an hour, folks. I started working for $1 an hour. Thanks, Dad. But it did give me enough money to make a little car payment. So I would leave school. I would go up to the store, which was a good 25 minute drive. And my first car, I got a loan for it. My car payment was $69. I'll never forget that. And it was a 69 Camaro. No, the car payment was $60 and the car was a 69 Camaro. Love that car. Don't know why I ever got rid of it. Should have held on to that car, but didn't. I think Dale's first car may have been, I don't know if his first car was a 69 Camaro or if that was a couple cars down the line that was a 69 Camaro, but for a while we both had one. Both love our 69 Camaros, and neither one of us ended up keeping one of them. Neither one of us have one. Ugh. Those things are so nice and so expensive now to get a nice one that's all fixed up. Anyhow, there's that. So yeah, I would work for part of the day. It was only like an hour, the last hour of the day or something, but then I would work a few more hours, you know. And of course, that's when Dale and I then started like dating. Yeah, dating, officially, like dating, going out, you know. I had to be 16 to date. Yep, that was the rule. I had to be 16. And when I was 16, I remember my 16th birthday party, Dale was there. Maybe he had a car at that time and had driven over, probably did. But, because he's 6 months older than me, so he probably had his license and his car and all that. He came to my birthday party. And then it was at that birthday party and after that birthday party, I guess, that we actually started dating, like going out places, you know, to a movie or wherever. Or maybe he'd just pick me up to go skating because we still went skating, you know, things like that. So, yeah, that was Mr. Dipple in high school. I was a decent student in high school, you know, nothing to write home about. I thought I would probably go to college when I was, you know, I graduated from high school. I just didn't know what I wanted to do, that kind of thing. So, you know, Dale and I, we went to our senior prom together, and we broke up a couple times in high school because I say it's because he wanted to see somebody else. I don't know. He might disagree, but that's my take on it anyhow. And, you know, then we graduated. And at the time, I guess there's a debate. My mom apparently told us that we were too young to be serious, and I was going to go to college, and I needed to see other people and whatnot. And Dale was like, he didn't think that was right. He didn't think that's what we should have done. He thought that we broke up because of that. I don't know. But we broke up, I went to college. I didn't go away. I was still living at home, going to community college. It's not like I really went anywhere. I didn't go anywhere. But, we did break up. And then sometime during my college years, I was working at the store, going to school. I was doing both things full time at this point. We did get back together again for a while. And I don't know why we didn't stay together. Maybe that's when my mom had too much influence. I don't know. But we didn't stay together at that point. And then things just kind of happened. And I met somebody else. Again, at roller skating, I met someone else. Ended up married with 2 kids. And that wasn't the best experience of my life. It just wasn't. And I don't want to talk badly about him, because I was with him on and off for years and years. He was, he couldn't settle down. Let's put it that way. He couldn't settle down. He couldn't stay committed. It was a come and a go kind of relationship always. And we got divorced after, the second child. No. Yeah. We got divorced after the second child. And he would move, go do something else with his life, but then he'd want to come back. And it was like that. And then there were many times when I was a single parent, when he was off doing whatever he was going to do. And I learned to be very independent and take care of myself, take care of my children. I was always the more responsible person. And that's what I did. And then I would always think, okay, maybe we can make this work. Maybe we can make this work. If you think you're ready to try it again, we'll try it again. Well, the last time we tried that, it just became more of a roommate situation. He needed a place to live. I said, okay, you can live here temporarily, and temporarily became longer and longer and longer. And then it just kind of became like a dependent kind of thing, He was just a body in the house, somebody to talk to. He did give me money to help pay bills and things like that. And it was just, kind of a dependent kind of relationship. We depended on each other for different things. And I wouldn't say that we were like in love or, anything like that. It's just, it was what it was. Until one day in the summertime, as I was headed to a baseball game, my best friend's daughter was having a baseball game, invited me to come watch, and I stopped at the store to get a soda. A soda. I don't know why I said soda. I don't drink sodas. I drink pop. Because you guys would understand soda. That's why I said it. But I stopped to get a pop, something to drink. And there was this guy getting out of a car or truck or something. I don't know. And I looked over and I was like, oh my gosh, that is Dale. That is Dale. I mean, I had almost encounters with him. Like one day somebody said, we were at a store and somebody said, I saw Dale. He's over by the sporting goods department. And so I take off, try to see if I can see him or find him. I couldn't find him. My sister ran into him at a bank one time. Just chance encounters, over the years. That was all. I knew where he lived. I knew that he'd gotten married. I knew who he got married to. That kind of stuff. I looked him up in the phone book. That's when we had phone books. Looked him up in the phone book. I'd had his phone number. I never called. I never called because, I'm thinking all along he's married and whatnot. So how can I call knowing he's a married man? I can't, right? Well, that day in the summertime, here he was. And I just about ran up to the door. And when I got close enough to him, I said, hi. I said, what's your name? That's exactly what I said. I said, what's your name? He looked at me and he's like, Dale. And I'm like, Dale, it's me. It's Mindy. And he's like, what? Mindy? I'm like, yeah, it's me. And he was like, oh my gosh, right? Well, that was all it took. Now, mind you, my ex-husband is living with me. Not in a romantic sense of the word, really. Not on my part, at least. And here's Dale. Dale is single. Dale had a girlfriend. But, yeah. That's how we met. Again. And it was like 26, 20 some years after we broke up in high school, or after high school, right? So yeah, of course we started talking. In the store, exchanged numbers, agreed that we needed to get together and chat again at some point. So that's what we did. And, in chatting with him, and like we went out and got some dinner one night together and whatnot, and quickly realized that, okay, my life, I've just been sitting in a holding pattern for so long, and it's time. It's time to do something for me that's going to make me happy. And this is like the one that got away. It's the one that got away. And I'm not going to let him get away again, right? I am not going to let him get away again. So, yeah, we started, seeing each other. And I had to then, go home and tell the ex-husband that, he really needed to find someplace else to move to. I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. I needed more out of life. Time to move on. Yeah. And that's what happened. And I told him, and he agreed. He was heartbroken, I guess. But he did. He found a place. He moved on. And sorry, I'm just going to mess with this while I open up a new section, because I don't want to do any more black. I'm going to wait for those blacks from Sue. I used up all my Craftably black. I don't want to use that other set over there. Anyhow, sorry, make a little noise. There we go. I just need to get another section open here. This is real life, folks. This is real life. This is how it rolls. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. He went and told his girlfriend. He told his girlfriend. Yeah, that was not a great relationship either. And I told my ex-husband, and they both moved on their merry ways so that Dale and I could be together. So that was in the summertime. Okay, that was about June, July, something like that. And then we could actually officially date and things like that, and not have to worry about what other people were thinking. And decided to get married in April of the next year. So that's what we did. Just a nice little ceremony. He'd been married for, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get this right. Let me just make a stab at the dark. 23 years, maybe, I think he was married for. And had 2 children. I had 2 children. I already said that. I had Shannon. And then I had Josh. 3 years. My kids are 3 years apart. His kids, I think, are 2 years apart, and they're younger than my kids. So, now we have Shannon, we have Josh, and then his son Adam, and then his daughter's Melissa. And so now we have 4 kids between the 2 of us. And we've been married almost 10 years. Yeah. So he agreed to move into my house because we had 2 houses now, 2 homes, 2, everything. And he could sell his house much quicker and easier than I could sell mine. So he sold his house, moved in with me. That was interesting, combining 2 complete households worth of stuff into one. My house was smaller, but I couldn't sell it. It just, markets were bad, and I couldn't sell mine without taking a huge loss. So that's why we did it that way. So he moved in. Shannon was living with us, I believe. I don't know. It gets all a little foggy, but anyhow, we lived in that house for a while, and then Shannon moved out, and then Josh moved out, and then Shannon moved back, and then we wanted a place of our own. We always said that we would sell both of our houses and get our forever place together, our house, right? And it took a while, and then finally Shannon moved back into my house, and we decided that maybe she could just stay there and she could take over paying for that house and the bills for that house, and Dale and I could just find our house. And so that's what we did. We hunted around. It took us, oh my gosh, it took us forever. It took us probably a year to find a house that we wanted, which is this house that we live in. And that's what we did. Eventually, we finally found this house, jumped on it. It had an offer at first, and we didn't think we were going to be able to get it. Then the offer fell through, and then we jumped on it. I mean, after all the looking that we had done, we just jumped on it. And it was everything we wanted. It was out in the country, no neighbors right next to us, quiet, peaceful, not too far from, the rest of the world. I mean, it's really, 10 minutes to a larger town. It's not large, but a larger town with a Walmart and restaurants, and it's 15 minutes to the big town. So, yeah, we're not too far from anything, and yet we're out here in our own little slice of, I call it, paradise, really. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's nature, the pond, and, that's just our life now. He has worked at his job for like 43 years. He really doesn't see any retirement date in sight yet. I had worked at a bank for 8.5 years. The bank let me go. That was what I supported my children on. I had the insurance, the health insurance. I didn't make great money, but I made enough money that we could get by. And then the bank let me go. I was downsized. The whole downsizing thing. I've been downsized. When I got downsized, that's when I decided it was now or never. I could go back to school. I could get my degree. I'd been working towards a business degree, but that did not appeal to me anymore. I now had children. They were in school, and the whole idea of being a teacher was just, I could do that. I could do that. So I did. I went back to school. It took me 3 years. I crammed a whole lot into 3 years, and I became a teacher. Did that for 23 years, you guys. 23 years. And I just retired in June or July of 2020. I retired at 60. I could have worked longer, but honestly, I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore. It just got really, really difficult. Really, really difficult. And I was eligible to retire at 60 with a full pension. Not as good as it would have been if I'd stayed longer, you know what I mean? But I had to go. And so I did. I retired. And now I stay home and take care of the chickens and the ducks and the dogs, and Dale goes to work, and we just have this little life here of our own. And, yeah, that's the basic story of me, I guess. In a quick synopsis, I mean, there's tons and tons of stories in there along the way, but, that's just the highlights of me from a child until now. So here we are. We're out in the country. living our country life, having our chickens, which means in a minute I have to go out and let the chickens out and collect their eggs because it's about that time. But got the 2 dogs. I mean, you know, I lost a dog about a year ago, a little over a year ago, that I'd had for 13 years. Broke my heart. Still does. You know, had a cat for quite a while that I lost that cat, and that broke my heart. But I still have Tifa and Toffee. They're my girls. Yeah. And so this is what I do with my life now. I stay home. And, you know, 2020, with everything that happened, I really stayed home. I wasn't able to go see any of my friends. And I stayed home and made videos, and yeah. So that's what it is, guys. That's a little synopsis of my life. And I think that was better than a bunch of silly tag questions. What do you think? Anyhow, don't forget to comment on the video and be eligible that way to win a prize, which I'll draw the winner next week. Make sure you watch Yureli's video tomorrow. I'm sure she'll have interesting things to say. And then the following week, she'll be doing a drawing. And yeah, have fun working on your paintings. And yeah, I can't think of anything else that I missed that I need to say. Just have fun. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of what I do. It is my new, you know, it's my new world. Yeah, so anyhow, until next time, have a great day, and happy diamond painting, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.